A few weeks back, I went to a party where I didn't know anyone, and I spent the first hour completely inside my own head. I was holding a drink that I wasn't even drinking because I thought that I'd look normal by holding something. And at some point, I stopped watching myself and I started watching everyone else. And I noticed something. Everyone was doing the exact same thing I was doing. Everyone was performing. Nobody was actually relaxed. And something about that realization hit me. Nobody actually cares about you as much as you think they do. They're all too busy worrying about themselves. Here's what nobody says in these videos. Caring what people think isn't a character flaw. It's not weakness. It's literally just one of the most deeply human things there is to do. For most of human history, being rejected by your group meant that you were alone. And being alone meant you probably didn't survive long. So your brain evolved to treat social rejection as a genuine threat. Not a metaphorical one, a real physical, dangerous one. That's why getting embarrassed feels almost physical. Why being left out hurts in a way that's hard to explain. Your brain hasn't caught up to the fact that being judged at a party is not the same as being exiled from your tribe. So when you care what people think, you're not being irrational. You're just running ancient software that's kept humans alive for thousands of years. It just hasn't updated for a world where the stakes are a lot lower. There's something called the spotlight effect. It's the tendency to massively overestimate how much other people are noticing and thinking about you. And there's a study where they made people wear an embarrassing t-shirt in a room full of strangers. Afterwards, they asked the person how many people they thought had noticed. Then they asked the room, and the person in the shirt dramatically overestimated how many people clocked it. Most people in the room hadn't even registered it, because everyone is the main character of their own story. The mental bandwidth they have left over to think, notice, and analyze you is way smaller than you think. That thing you said 3 days ago that you've been replaying in your head, the other person has almost certainly not thought about it since it happened. You're simply not being watched as closely as you think. The audience in your head is significantly larger than the audience that actually exists. So, if the audience is smaller than we think, why does it matter? It matters because we still make real decisions based on the imaginary version. You don't say what you actually think because you're worried how it'll land. You don't start the project because you're scared of what people will say if it fails. You don't dress how you want, pursue what you're actually interested in, or say the thing you actually mean because you've already played out the reaction in your head and decided it's not worth it. You're changing yourself for a crowd that isn't even watching, and the cost of that is the thing you actually wanted to do never happens. I don't think the answer is to completely stop caring what anyone thinks, because that's just not realistic. There's a version of it that's actually useful by caring whether you're kind. Caring whether the people who actually matter to you think well of you. That's different from being paralyzed by what a stranger thinks about how you're standing. The distinction is this: caring about your character is different from caring about your image. Character is who you actually are. Image is how you actually want to be seen. The first one is worth caring about. The second one is what makes you spend a party inside of your own head instead of actually being in the moment. You have one go at being alive. You can spend it performing for an audience that isn't watching as closely as you think, or you can just do what actually matters to you. Say what you think and be interested in what you're actually interested in. And let people form whatever opinion they form. The ones who like the real version of you are worth dramatically more than a crowd who likes the performance. I still cared what people thought at that party, but the second half of the night, when I came to my realization, I stopped thinking so much about it, and I was actually there, in the moment. So if there's one thing you take away from this, stop caring so much about what other people think. Do what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, who do you have? Only yourself.